What up, guys? It's Joshua Bassett. Yeah, the last 12 months have been wild for everybody. I feel like I've grown the most in the last year, personally and musically. And I think that the cool thing is, especially in the last few months, I've been really trying a bunch of new stuff, and I'm really excited to share a lot of the new stuff that I've been working on because I'm pushing myself and getting out of my comfort zone. So the virtual concert was a super incredible experience. My team was super awesome about making sure we had the best people. We just had this idea that, I had this EP coming out, and we felt like while the EP is great as it is, I think that at its core, those are all songs that I imagined playing live. And because we're in a pandemic, we weren't able to do that. So we got everybody together and got everybody tested and did the live show. And it was the first time I'd ever played my music with a full live band, which was just another level of insane. I was terrified, but I think it came out really well, and I'm really proud of what we made. And I think it's just the beginning for what's possible with touring and with shows and all that stuff. And as soon as possible, I would love to tour wherever I'm welcomed. And I think that would just be the dream. That is absolutely my dream. The virtual thing just gave me the confidence. We were rehearsing, and for whatever reason, I was like, I want to do a cover of Drops of Jupiter. I have no idea where it came from, no clue, but it popped into my psyche, and I said I wanted to do it. And then within like 3 minutes, everybody had it ready to go. And they're like, let's just try it. And then we jammed out with the band. And I think by the end of it, we're all like, okay, yeah. I actually, funnily enough, forgot the lyrics during the show. And my manager was even holding up the lyrics. And he was holding them on this giant board. And even then, I lost my place and I totally forgot the lyrics. So the one that people saw in the show is actually a extra take because I kept forgetting the lyrics. Go sing all the lyrics to Drop of Jupiter without looking. I guarantee you can't do it. It's very difficult. There's very many lyrics, and they also change every time. It's not like the same chorus. You'd think that it'd be, but every chorus is slightly different, sort of the same. Half of the lyrics are the same, half of them are different. Whatever. No disrespect to Train, love the song, but it's very hard when you have a goldfish mind that doesn't remember anything. The song that I wish I wrote that came out before I was born is probably Yesterday by Paul McCartney. I think that's like my favorite song of all time, and I think it's one of the best songs of all time, and it's just perfect. It's just one of those songs you're like, oh man, wish I could. But I mean, of course, it wouldn't be what it is without it being Paul McCartney, so I would never want to take that away from Paul. But maybe like as a ghostwriter, maybe that would have been cool if I had written Yesterday and then given it to Paul McCartney, and that would have been cool. I would say that nerves come up always in the funniest times and places. Like it's always interesting where there are things that you know normally like you'd expect yourself to be nervous at that you aren't, and then there's things that you randomly do. But I think the key thing for the show was that I had a really great vocal teacher, Eric Vitro, and he was really good about sort of working with me, and he made me feel really comfortable and confident in my voice. And so it's honestly just about feeling comfortable and confident in yourself and your abilities and trusting that you know how to do it. Just take a breath and relax. That's the key. When I filmed season 1 of High School Musical, the series, the first week was pretty nerve-wracking, and then you get over that, you get used to it, you know everybody, and it's great. And then season 2, we came back, and I felt really great about like myself in terms of I was taking care of myself. I felt like I was in a really good headspace. And so that one I wasn't nervous, but funnily enough, when we shut down because of the pandemic, when we came back months later to film season 2, on the first couple days, I was so nervous, and I don't know why. Like, I have no idea why, but I think it was just because I'd been so out of the groove of things for so long. But that was an interesting time where I was filming with people that I knew, people I felt very comfortable with a script that I was very familiar with. There was no reason for me to be like nervous, but for whatever reason, it was just really hard for me. My new single, Feel Something, is out right now. It's one of my favorite songs I've ever made. The reception has been incredible. Everyone I've shown it to personally, I've been so excited to share it with because they've all loved it. And it's one of those songs that I, even after mixing and mastering it, and after shooting the music video, I still am like, I want to hear that song again, you know? So that's always a good sign. The song Feel Something is about this idea of the main lyric is got no plans, doing anything we can just to feel something. And I think that I've sort of had this philosophy since I was pretty young of like just going out there and doing things and not being afraid and living your best life and having fun. Like, that's such an important part of life that I think sometimes it's easy to forget that is like that is a really enriching part of life. And I think that the song is like a culmination of a bunch of different stories over the last few years of even my time, like just living in LA with people, like my time going to Griffith, or just the different things that I've done in my life. It all sort of came together in this one anthem song called Feel Something. And I think one thing that I pride myself on is that I have lived a really like fun life, and that's intentional. Like I've done things, and I feel like that's something that people miss out on, but it's solely through their own like fear that they miss out on it. And I think it's all up to us to sort of decide, like, you know what, we're going to live our life fully and we're going to go for it. And also like just to feel something, because sometimes we get numb these days with social media. I've directed a video before for my song called Anyone Else. That was a little bit more like homemade kind of thing because it was like during COVID and all that. But the thing about directing that's funny is me and my creative director have sort of in the last few videos been, after everyone, we end up being like, okay, like we respect and we love every director that brings stuff to the table. But I think ultimately I sort of know what I want. And so that's all that you need from a director, is somebody who knows what they want. And so when this song came about and we were sort of brainstorming on the music video idea, I called Sarah and I was like, why don't we just do this? Like you and I, let's just direct this. And so she was like, yes, let's do it. I'm down. So we just got a really good director of photography and her and I went for it. And it was pretty freeing. And I think that like co-directing is something I'm really into, because there's a lot that I can't see when I'm in it. You know, I have to just trust the people behind the camera to like really be, that we're capturing like good stuff, you know? So that was what was nice to have Sarah sort of to bounce stuff off of. But yeah, I mean, it was just super fun. I think I've always sort of known what I wanted. I just wasn't quite able to translate that. And this was an example of a time where I felt like I was actually able to get across what I wanted, and I had a very crystal clear vision. And I'm very happy with how the video turned out. Social media has always been a tricky thing for me. I mean, I even remember being 11 and deciding that I was going to take a social media cleanse. Like I was 11. And I was like, I'm going to take 3 months off of social media because it's not good for my mental health. I knew it back then and I knew it now, that social media is not it cheap. But if I had to pick one social media that I would only have forever, I would have to say TikTok. It's definitely the most creative and the most collaborative. And I think that ultimately people go on TikTok to learn and grow. And I think that it can be whatever you want it to be. TikTok is just a platform, you know, it's up to the creators to really make stuff. But I think that it does a good job of creating a community of people who are sort of cheering each other on instead of saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. And so that's why I would pick that one if I was like on an island for the rest of time. I would choose TikTok. Well, I've had a blast hanging out with you guys. Be sure to check out my new single, Feel Something, as well as season 2 of High School Musical, the musical. This series, check it out. It blows season 1 out of the water. I really believe that. Thank you all for having me.